Recent news has surfaced concerning the Las Vegas Raiders, who have made the decision to part ways with cornerback. This information has just come to light, and there was a conversation earlier today about a report suggesting that the team had been considering a trade before ultimately opting for his release. It now seems that since that report, which surfaced around 3 hours ago, the Raiders have moved quickly to carry out the release. A crucial aspect to clarify is that it would be misleading to think the Raiders only looked into trading him briefly. This is not the situation. It appears likely that the player was among those desiring to leave, and the team was also inclined to assist in his departure. His contract lacked any guaranteed funds, which strongly favors the choice to either trade or simply let him go. He initially joined under the former management, and with that staff no longer present, it makes sense that he would want to exit Las Vegas. Similarly, it is understandable that the Raiders aim to move forward without him. As breaking news unfolds, updates will follow. There will be a closer look at some details regarding the player, his contract, and potential trade inquiries that might have occurred, although this cannot be confirmed definitively. A notable reaction observed on social media since the announcement has been a wave of anxiety among fans, many of whom are expressing shock at the team's decisions. It is indeed unexpected to discover that the team actively sought to separate after having considered doing so for several months. Previous discussions included potential trade and cut candidates, with him being part of those evaluations. It is clear he has talent and the ability to be a dynamic playmaker, as shown in a past game. However, there are significant inconsistencies in his performance, especially relating to run support. For a team that may want to adjust its approach, depending on such a player, might not yield the desired results. It is vital to recognize that this choice can benefit the team, allowing them to save $1,400,000 while giving younger cornerbacks a chance to demonstrate their skills in the league. Although he is still fairly young, the team has already brought in another player and has more options available on the roster. The potential of other players is intriguing to consider as they move onward. It is evident that the team will need to draft a cornerback, and there are expectations for them to select one in the early rounds. A question arises regarding the confidence in the cornerback group, prompting everyone to reflect on their evaluations. As the tournament opens, whether in the first, second, or third round, the question arises, how confident are you in the team's cornerback position? Rate from 1 to 10, where 1 represents total distrust and 10 indicates one of the best cornerback defenses in the National Football League. I will share my evaluation shortly, but first, I want to know what you think. Personally, I give my confidence level a 5 due to the current management. Had there not been a focused effort to identify competent players for cornerback, safety, and defensive back positions in general, this score might have been much lower. There are a fair number of athletes in the cornerback room, but undoubtedly, several uncertainties still remain. If I were on a Las Vegas team, I would certainly have a list of names in mind, many of whom are in the first rounds of the draft. One aspect I plan to address is the number of visits the team has conducted at the cornerback position, including some formal interviews that took place at the Combine. In the end, one player will certainly be chosen among the top 10. I will be commenting on him next Tuesday, where I will provide more details, but before that, it's worth mentioning that the team tried to make a trade involving a certain player, but they couldn't find any takers, which doesn't surprise me, considering the cost of $3,400,000. Some may argue that this amount isn't high for him, especially in light of his last season. However, he was one of the least productive cornerbacks among the main ones who were on the field, and it's unlikely that any team would be willing to spend that amount, especially considering the off-field challenges he faced in organizations that weren't led by a particular coach or didn't have ties to him. Therefore, the lack of a trade doesn't surprise me. On the field, it's clear that no team would pay that amount to him, especially considering his off-field issues. Therefore, I'm not surprised that the team wasn't able to make a trade. There's no disputing the strategy of John Spytek and the choice of certain coach, who is right to choose the cost-saving option, which should be used more intelligently to drive improvements. I don't know if this will happen at the cornerback position, but if it were up to me, I would use those resources to bring in a receiver and offer support to a quarterback, especially after his recent contract signing. If there's interest in Shader Sanders, this is a team that deserves special attention. Another cornerback frequently mentioned is Benjamin Morrison from the University of Notre Dame. He had some injuries, but was considered one of the top talents that could be picked by the Raiders in the second round, specifically at pick 38. The main difference lies in the draft rounds. Will Johnson is projected for the first round, while Benjamin Morrison is expected to be selected in the second. Regarding the formal interviews at the Combine, Jay Barron from Texas was interviewed and is projected as a pick among the top 15, being seen as a versatile prospect. I've already discussed him in previous videos. Once again, the name of Benjamin Morrison comes up alongside Will Johnson and Siobhan Revel. Siobhan Revel reminds me of a prospect in the style of Richard Sherman. Although he doesn't yet have the ideal physicality, he possesses impressive athletic traits, measuring 6 feet 3 inches and weighing around 190 to 200 pounds, coming from East Carolina University. He faced a serious injury at the beginning of the season, but is likely to be chosen among the top 50 picks. Some people believed he could be picked in the first round, but I believe he'll fall between the top 50. Trey Amos is another name previously mentioned in this conversation. I've heard a lot about Trey Amos, a cornerback from Ole Miss, and he seems to be a target for the Raiders in the second round, possibly at pick 38. They also had a formal interview at the Combine with Kobe Bryant, a cornerback from Kansas. Despite struggling at the NFL Combine, I've heard he did well in interviews. He's likely to be a player to watch in the third round, and while it's not certain he could fall to the fourth, we've seen surprises in the draft before. I estimate he'll be chosen in rounds 3 or 4. Before I finish, an update that caught my attention is that the Raiders are set to meet with Mason Graham on Tuesday. He's a defensive tackle from Michigan, and I believe he could be a pick among the top 5. If the Raiders are looking to select the best available player, despite some criticism of Ashton Jenney, Mason Graham stands out among the prospects. The Michigan defensive tackle has the potential to be a top 5 pick, and if the team truly intends to secure the best available player and opt for Mason Graham, I'm confident this could result in one of the strongest defensive lines in the NFL, and I dare say that. For a franchise that prioritizes the line, this is definitely a situation worth watching. I'd like to update that the Raiders officially parted ways with Jack Jones, saving $3,400,000 in the process. They tried to trade him, but it's no surprise that there was little interest given the price tag. Thanks to everyone following along as I prepare to watch the South Carolina game, cheering for their women's team. My family is hoping for a win, which would mean a lot of bragging rights in our female group. Additionally, while processing the news about Jack Jones, I was watching Alexander Ovechkin surpass Wayne Gretzky's impressive mark of 895 goals. If you get the chance today, I recommend checking out how Wayne Gretzky handled the situation so gracefully, as well as Alexander Ovechkin's reaction and the entire NHL community's response. They did an excellent job of showing appreciation, especially towards Ovechkin's family, his children, teammates, and everyone who's been part of his journey in the organization. Congratulations to Ovechkin, someone I've watched grow a lot. In Central Pennsylvania, hockey holds a special place, even though it's not as widely popular. My dad is a huge hockey fan and a supporter of the Islanders, the very team Ovechkin scored against. Growing up, it was always about watching Sid the Kid, Sidney Crosby, and Alexander Ovechkin, the 2 stars of that era. Therefore, for someone who has maintained their presence in the sport for so long, congratulations are certainly deserved. However, it's essential to remember that there's only one great, and that's Wayne Gretzky. Congratulations to Ovechkin, but my respect still goes to Wayne. When observing the matchup between Sidney Crosby and Alexander Ovechkin, it's remarkable how these two athletes have frequently faced off. For someone who's been in the league for so long, it's truly an achievement, but there's only one player who stands out above all, and that's Wayne Gretzky. So, Ovechkin, my congratulations to you, but my respect goes to Wayne Gretzky. As for Jack Jones, I wish him success, except when he's playing against our team. Now, it's officially known that the team saved $3,400,000 with Jack Jones' departure. If you're interested in more updates on the team, I'm here for that. No matter the time or day, whenever there's something new, I'll do my best to keep you updated. And for those who don't know, in 2 months, I'll be celebrating a wedding, so if any last-minute information comes up, I might not be available for the rest of the day. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a move that has sent shockwaves across the NFL, the Las Vegas Raiders are reportedly making a serious push to acquire superstar wide receiver Tyreek Hill. With whispers turning into roars around league circles, the Raiders are looking to capitalize on Hill's apparent frustration in Miami, igniting a potential blockbuster that could redefine their offensive identity. After a turbulent end to the Dolphins' 2024 season, the timing might just be right for a dramatic change in scenery for the NFL's most electrifying deep threat. Tyreek Hill's 2024 campaign, though statistically solid, ended in disappointment as the Dolphins missed the playoffs with an 8-9 record. Hill, who had never missed the postseason in his career until now, voiced his dissatisfaction in no uncertain terms, publicly stating, "I'm out following Miami's Week 18 loss." His cryptic social media activity, including a reference to Antonio Brown's infamous exit from the Buccaneers, only added fuel to the fire, suggesting a fractured relationship with the organization. Sources close to the situation have revealed that while Hill has not formally requested a trade, the Las Vegas Raiders are aggressively testing Miami's resolve. With a new coaching regime hungry for elite playmakers, the Raiders see Hill as the missing piece to elevate their offense and bring a new era of excitement to Allegiant Stadium. The front office reportedly views his game-changing speed and veteran pedigree as the perfect complement to their young quarterback and evolving roster. Hill's resume speaks for itself. 8 straight Pro Bowls, a Super Bowl ring, and a reputation as the most dangerous wideout in open space. In 2023, he led the NFL in receiving yards and tied for the lead in touchdowns, a feat he accomplished despite facing relentless double coverage. The Raiders believe that pairing him with their current weapons could catapult them into serious playoff contention and reinvigorate their fan base. For now, the NFL world watches and waits. Will the Dolphins hold firm, or will Hill's discontent lead to a high-profile trade that shakes up the league? One thing is certain, the Las Vegas Raiders are not just interested, they're all in. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.